Alright, I got it. Alright, now I got something here. So I'm going to build a real simple MSC wall model that'll do the alignment of the model, and also will do. I'm also going to model the steps in to make it easier for the grading crew to go in and cut out what they need to. So this one's real simple. It's based off an alignment. Just going to go in, offset this alignment. Just looking at the plans, it's saying 27.5 feet left. And then I'm just going to offset a segment because they give you start and stop station. The start station 37 plus 96.04 along this alignment. And the ending station, it's just real simple. Begin station offset of this alignment. End wall station offset of this alignment. So the ending point is 41 plus 33.86, same 27.5, so it's not a variable offset line. Just gonna hit apply. Now it made this line, which should be the length of the wall, which, because it's on a pretty decent radius, it's not going to match the start and stop station. 326.66, 326.66. Pulled right off the shop drawings. 326.66 along front face of wall. Quick double check, it works. Now the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go in here, I'm going to make this undefined. This line, I've selected it, change elevation, undefined, because realistically I don't care what the center line alignment, I don't really care what it has nothing to do with this wall. So I'm just going to get rid of any of the elevations because I'm going to make an alignment out of that line. 5A and then 1. Just making sure I got the right side of the wall. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to corridor, create alignment, put it under my walls layer. I'm going to name it MSC wall 5A bottom. Just making sure I keep it consistent. MSC wall 5A bottom. You're just going to check down here, use an existing line. That line's already selected. And then hit OK. And it brings up an alignment editor. So apparently this whole wall is in an arc, which is fine. But what I want to do is I want to build the steps in this MSC wall. So this wall has all these steps in it that vary. Onto a second sheet. I'm going to build these steps in there because that's going to be part of what I use to create a model. So my first panel is 5.64 feet wide. So I'm going to come over to vertical. I'm going to hit create vertical alignment. And this is going to be station 0, the start of this wall. Actually, they call it 10 plus 0, 0, so I'm going to start. I'm going to go back to my horizontal tab. My first station, I'm going to do 10 plus 0, 0. Tab over, and now I just changed the start of my alignment. So I'm going to go back at 10 plus 0, 0, which is the start of this wall, 10 plus 0, 0. I'm going to do the bottom of the wall, 804.81. 804.81. Now, the first step is only 5.64 feet wide. So I'm going to do 10 plus 0, 0, or I'm going to do 1,000 plus 5.64. Tab over, 10 plus 05.64. And now the elevation, see, I want to keep the bottoms here, so it's that same 804.81. Then what I do is I come here and I do 10 plus 05.6, and I'm going to do 8. I'm going to do 4 hundredths. So in 4 hundredths, I am going to jump up to the next elevation, which is 806.04. Now I'm going to come in here, select the alignment, I'm going to right click, and I'm going to do new profile view. Bring it up here. So that's what we just created. We just created a step up that mimics this first step up with the width and the elevation change. So now the next one, and I'll divide this out, but I know it's 9.84 is the width of each panel. So I'm going to take 49.2 divided by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 panels, 9.84. So 9.84 times 5 by 49.2 plus 5.64 plus 1,000 because it starts at station 10. So my next station is 10 plus 54.84, and it's going to be the same 806.04. Now I'm actually going to subtract 4 hundredths out of that, so I'll make it out of the station. I'm going to do 80. I like to keep my actual elevations along the bottom of the wall. Most surveyors take the bottoms of walls. They don't normally build these steps in. So if I hit tab, it brought me all the way over here. And I just pick 4 hundredths because Business Center doesn't support anything vertical. So you have to put a little step in it just to get that to transition. So I'm going to do my next 10 plus 54.84, which is the bottom. And I'm going to do this 804.81, so I'm back down to 804.801. So I'm starting to build exactly that plan sheet. So I've got 74.88 feet to the next step. 74.88. So I'm just gonna type in, let Business Center do the work. 10. I think I can do this. 1054.84 plus 74.88, and it should get this right. So this isn't that important, but I'm trying to recreate the bottom. So I'm going to keep the bottom elevation on the right. So 804.81. 11 plus 29.72, 11, 29.72 plus 0.04, just half-inch step up to my next elevation, 80604, back up. So, as you can see, I'm building the steps in the bottom of this MSE wall, and this goes pretty quick. So now I've got a 9.84 step, so just gonna try to speed through this. 1129.76 plus 9.84. It's 80604. 1139.6 plus 0.04. Half-inch step, or half-inch transition, up to 808.50. 98.4 feet to the next step. Oops. So 1139.64 plus 98.40. I'm actually going to take that 04 off. Again, transitioning my steps, and this is going to be the same elevation, 808.50. Building this alignment across, matching the plans, using a half-inch station to step the elevation. So now I've got 1238 plus my next step is 3552, and that's 808.50. Oops. So now I've got 12 plus 73.56 to step up to 807. Step down to 807. Uh-oh. I got going too fast. 807.27, 807.27. If I look at it, I see I'm missing a step, so I'm gonna have to come back. Let's see here. So 12 plus 38. So this needs to be 12 plus 38.04. 807.27. And then 73.56 minus 38.04 is 35.52, which is that next step. So I'm going to go 12 plus 73.56 plus 0.04 to step up to 808.51. Oh. And normally I wouldn't go this fast. I'm going to have to double check all this, but I want to get to the point of building the excavation model, which is more important than, or which is what I want to show tonight. Alright, so I gotta do 1273.60, or actually it's 56 plus 53.18, 808.51. And that looks about right. So I can just close out of this. My plan view, I can go to 3D real quick. Zoom in. That looks kind of funny, but that's how it's designed. This MSE wall, part of it is not, part of it is in front of a soil nail wall, so there's really no MSE portion. Alright, so I'm going to come to plan view. Now these are my strap lengths right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to round up to the longest strap length per step. I'm going to skip this step here. So I'm going to do 49.2 plus 5.64. So for that distance, I want to offset this alignment 16 feet to represent the strap excavation. I'm just going higher because you can over excavate these. It's not really a big deal. So I'm just gonna pick the highest number per step just to make it easy. Sometimes I put more detail into it, but this I want to do quick. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to create a corridor. I'm going to do MSC wall 5A bottom excavation. I'm going to do 0 plus 0, 0. I guess 10 plus 0, 0. I don't care to name it. Just automatically it prompts for a corridor template. So the option you want to choose when you do something like this is offset slope. And for offset, you want to do a table. Hit your dots. So actually, I'm going to start at station 10 plus 0, 0. I want to be offset 16 feet, which is my strap length. So I want to be 16 feet into the page at 0. I want to be 16 feet into the page at these two together, which is 54 plus 84. So 10 plus 54, 84, and I want to be 16 as well. I'm going to use my same little half-inch step trick to step out to, I hate when this happens. Oh, 20, I'm just going to do 26 feet. This wall actually ends. I'm just going to do it to here, 74.88. So this goes out to 26 feet wide. So I'm going to end this at 1054.88 plus 74.88, which is a little untrue, but I'll clean it up later. It'll be good enough. They won't be able to excavate 26 feet back because there's a soil nail wall there. But I'm going to make my next step 0.7, 0.80. I'm going to make this drop all the way back to, really it's technically 1 foot for the leveling pad, I think. I'll double check that. And that is going to continue for again, I'm just looking at this plan. It's going to go all the way 98.4 feet, and then that's within 7 feet of starting my 24-foot excavation for the straps. Right here is soil nail wall, so I'm going to add that 98.4. So you let Business Center do the math, but you have to take the plus out of the alignment. So 1129.8 plus 98.4 feet, and I want to still be at 1 foot. Then 12 plus 28.6. Now I want to jump back out to 24 feet wide as the strap length. and I'm going to continue that to the next step, which is another 35 feet. So 1228.6 plus 3552. And if you're not familiar with MSE walls, some of this might not make a lot of sense, but I want to show this offset table because it's really useful. It's once I build the surface, it'll be a lot easier to see what I'm actually doing here. So if this is still going to be 24 feet wide, and I'm going fast through this so I can get to the point. So I've got one step left, so I'm going to do 1264.12 plus 0.04, do a little half-inch step, and I'm going to go back down to 17 feet. I'm going to add some stuff in here as we go, or later on to make the steps a little bit tighter. So I got to go 1264, well, technically 12. I probably screwed up some of the stationing now that I think of it, but now my last 53.18. And I'm going so fast I have no idea if I even got the stationing right to the end. So basically I've got all these different stations with different offsets, and I'm just bouncing back and forth. They should all be paired up, 16 feet, 16 feet, and then between the two, wherever these offsets change, you should see 0.04 difference, which is just what I choose to step it over. So I'm going to hit OK. I want 0% because these straps are 0%, and I'm going to hit add. And there it is. So this actually might be right. Oh, it's not right. Made one mistake. Big mistake. Go back to my table here. Oh. Uh-oh. So you go back to Project Explorer, find your corridor, find what you were working on, find your template, right-click Edit, now you're back to your template. So I'm going to double-click this one, edit my table, and these are all negative offsets. So going to the left. You can copy and paste these into Excel. You can do these tables in Excel. There's actually one more trick that I can show. One of the rock pile solution macros, edit as spreadsheet. You can edit a corridor as a spreadsheet. You can actually use that to get your original vertical steps stationing into a spreadsheet, and you can actually just copy them and insert instead of typing them all out. I just redid them all. So I'm going to hit save, and it flopped it right back to the other side. So this is the MSE wall. The first step is one panel wide, and it goes back to this distance back is the excavation. Technically, this one's probably about half of this length, but I didn't build every step in, which I'll go back and add a few of the extras. But for the excavation, it really doesn't matter. They'll over excavate it anyway. So you come up a step here, then you go back down a step, and these are the straps for the MSE wall. If you're familiar with how MSE walls are. And then this right here represents the leveling pad because there's a soil nail wall that's already retaining this earth. Then it drops back down. There's a step in the strap length, but there was no step in the bottom of the footer. So this right here is a good example of something really simple you can do with, most surveyors are going to build out this line probably on their data collector. They're going to build out that horizontal alignment. Now they probably won't put the steps in it. So if you look real carefully, you can't really tell, but this point up here is half an inch, 0.04, further down the alignment than this bottom point. And that allows me to make this nearly a vertical step, because Business Center will not handle a vertical step. I'm assuming probably most software won't. So I use that little half inch to build this so that it's modeled. You can throw this right in the dozer, and they can clip this to grade. A machine control excavator would be perfect for this. Dig all these out. So I'm really just taking a line that a surveyor may have come up with or pretty close to, and build out a really simple alignment, and then add one little table, one offset table in here for my strap lengths. And I can even tighten this up in just a few seconds. So it looks like the 984 plus 564. So the partial panel and the full panel, 15.48 feet, is 8 feet wide. So I have these all at 16. So I can come in here and I can, maybe I can't insert it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight all these, copy the selected rows, open Excel so it's easier. I'm going to insert 2 of these. So I'm going to do 10, 15.48. So this is really minus 8, 10, 15, 52. That's going to step back to 16. So this is a cool feature of Business Center. You can edit this right in Excel. So I just copied it out. And of course I'm just gonna come in here, select all these. I'm gonna delete them because I got them in Excel. So I just added one of the steps. So if you're not real familiar with MSE wall plans and how they work, this might look a little foreign, but basically I made these are the strap lengths. So from here to here represents this length. I'll dimension it from here to here, 16 feet. So I've got it 16 feet all the way down. But if you look, it actually goes from 8 feet to 9 to 12 to 14 to 16. Well, when you're excavating it, it really doesn't matter. When they're building it, they'll pull each of those for their panels, and they won't put additional strap length in. But for the excavation, the first couple panels, I'd rather knock it down to 8 feet, because they might not have the room there, and the crew might think they need to excavate all the way out here, but there might be something in the way. So in Excel, I've just added 2 rows, and I've added an 8-foot step right before the 16-foot step, and the 8-foot step's only 15.5 feet long. So I'm just going to highlight all these, copy, double click on my instruction, go to the table, delete them again because I didn't save it, and I hit paste, and I added these 2 in. So when I hit save, what's going to happen is I've got an 8-foot offset for my first step, which is going to go to here, I think. Or not my first step, but my first strap adjustment I want to make. And then after that, it's going to bounce back to the 16. So if I hit OK and then save, there it did. It chopped it right down. So I could model every single one of these steps in, but there's no point in doing that if they're just trying to cut it out. You can use this to stake the wall. jump up in your steps. You know, I can tighten all these up, which I'll probably do that. I'll probably tighten them all up. There's some different strap lengths in here where the soil nail wall is, and all these oddball little panels. Sometimes I just write the station out down here so I don't get lost, so I can use stationing like Business Center wants to see. And it helps make that table. But I mean, this is a 330-foot MSE wall. I think I spent more time on here looking for the plans than I did building this. I mean, I started my live stream at 9. I think I spent almost half an hour looking for plans. I probably only spent 20 minutes doing this right here. And I went probably twice as fast as I would have gone. So normally I would have went about half the speed, make sure I didn't make any mistakes. I tried to get all my bottom points to be on the exact station so I can create points on the line. Not really that important, but so a surveyor can go out. They can use the alignment to stake the face of the wall. I can plug this into a dozer. I can plug it into a rover. And what took me 20 minutes could save an entire crew. Could save them a day if they're waiting on survey. I mean, it's going to save them. It's going to save them a few hours, especially if they have a GPS dozer close by. They'll track that dozer down. They'll help cut some of these steps out, or back drag them if they have to. And in I mean, it's just 20 minutes of me on here. So you could even say an hour, just to take my time, make sure it's right, which I didn't do, and then export it to be uploaded into a dozer, and they're off. You know, crew could be off and running. So I've got a few of these done. So here's one. I actually screwed this one up first. Had it backwards. Easy mistake to do with the plans when they're elevation views of the actual facing the wall. So here's another one, really simple. Oh, you do have to add, I should have said this. Actually, I don't know why this is so clean. It looks like this one worked out perfect. Usually you have to add break lines, and I just like to add them as a line. So I'm just going to add a line string, and 3D is really handy. It knows exactly where I want them. Set new. And all the vertical steps. I always do this just to be safe. And I like Business Center's option for doing that in 3D. It's really handy. So sometimes these triangles will connect weird when you have steps. Oh, lost it. So I'm just going to add these to the surface. They just serve as break lines. Just rough selecting these here. Unselect the surface. Surface members, 5A bottom, add them. That actually changed something. Yeah, I don't really know. It just changed triangles. So, if anyone's just joining, this is spent 20 minutes looking for 30 minutes looking for a set of plans, and then 20 minutes building out a pretty simple MSE wall alignment. Let's see. building all the steps into the alignment. I use 1/2 inch of distance to make each step. You can use 0.01, but I like to do 0.04 just to be safe. So I just made all the steps in the MSE wall plan. Really, really, really simple. In the corridor instruction, 0% offset table. Enter all my station values for my strap lengths, the ones that I want to model. And 20 minutes later, you've got a working model to excavate for an MSE wall. There's a couple more I did. I didn't. Yeah, that looks kind of weird. I didn't make the break lines there yet. Here's another one. It's got some strap lengths in it, steps in it. This is just a straight temporary wire wall. I mean, these things right here, you load them into a dozer, put them on a rover. It's hard to stake stuff like this because you don't know what kind of ground you're going to get into when you start it. I mean, this could be, it could be way higher in here, and it could be really hard to give even just preliminary layout. Then you have to go back and put secondary layout, because usually it's not even going to be final layout until you get everything really excavated correctly. So at that point, plug this into a rover, let the crew cut it, put it into a dozer, let the dozer cut it, excavate it, let the excavator cut it. Existing conditions on a wall. There's the start of a soil nail wall. Actually, I forgot to do the step in it, the 5-foot bench. Oh wait, no I didn't. Did I? I think that's all the ones I got. So sorry about the technical difficulties, sorry about the crappy camera. I'm going to send it back to Amazon. You can't buy any web cameras right now because everyone's bought them already. Junk from China. And I'm gonna edit this one. I'm gonna edit out the 30 minutes of me searching for a set of plans, and I'll get this one posted. It'll be a short one, probably 20-30 minutes long. That shows how I go through building an MSE wall excavation model. So this one's pretty close. I'll probably put 30 minutes more into it. I'll probably build in some more steps. I'll make sure that the soil nail wall portion's correct, and be ready for someone to plug into a dozer and use. So thank you anyone for stuck through this. It was kind of a struggle, and then I went through this real fast, but I just wanted to show how to use a table to offset slope for one small corridor model, and I wanted to show how quickly you can model something that can be pretty difficult to stake. I mean, I did this in 30 minutes, and it's ready to go. So and hopefully next week will be a little bit smoother. I just got my new desktop, so it's going to be take a little time to iron out everything. Glad you like it, Alex. This is what more contractors need to be doing. You're taking an alignment that a lot of surveyors will build out in the field, and you're just you could take, if a surveyor built this alignment to stake the wall, you could steal that and build a really quick surface out of it for someone to go excavate. This stuff's kind of hard. It's tricky. The crew using a rotating laser, and it's not a big deal. They do it every day, but they gotta switch their depth and watch where they're switching, and then they have to go back and forth. It's not a big deal, but it's just all room for error. The only kicker is this has to be right, and if this isn't right, they could build it all wrong. So it's good to have someone double check your work, no matter what you're doing or who you're working for. But that's it. That's simple. So that's what I wanted to go through. Really, really specific application of building a model, but it is really fast and really helpful. It's well worth the time it takes to do this. Once you get the process down, and I go through this at twice the speed as most people, just because I've done it before. I did one of these today, but I just wanted to show that process, so maybe someone that does have that capability didn't know you could do that so easily. They can fire off a quick excavation model. So if no one has any questions, I'm gonna wrap it up for the night. Thank you anyone who stuck around through the planned digging and technical difficulties. So yeah, any questions, let me know. Put it in the chat, but we'll get this one edited and posted. All right, thanks those of you who stuck around, and always feel free to hit me up on LinkedIn if you want me to look at something. Omar, we'll maybe see about getting you on next week, or run through exactly what one of the projects you were working on, and we'll do that next week. I wanted to make sure I ironed out all the kinks this week, so I think I should be good. So thank you everyone, appreciate it. Remember, hit me up I'm on Instagram, Adam at AB Civil with underscores. Share my channel, share something on LinkedIn for me, and I'll be posting on LinkedIn for sure. So, all right, thank you everyone.